especially on a Wednesday, but I'll definitely share this out on the weekend. Yeah, definitely. Absolutely. So John's got it going on there. Pretty soon I'll do DVD on my phone. We're live. It is good. It is good. I'm glad you guys are here to feed the mosquitoes. Oh boy, yeah. Oh.
Yeah, you bet. All day long.
Yeah. So we're live now, John?
Yep.
We are live, folks, and we're live at the Pilot Flying J. Pilot Flying J here, and I like the Pilot Flying J, and I'll tell you why is they haven't been non-supportive, and they have been. You guys know who Truckers Final Mile is? That they get truckers home if they die on the road. They were having a real problem because they've had 80 drivers so far deceased on the road, Canada and U.S. And Pilot Flying J threw in like a huge amount of dollars.
Wow.
I'm not allowed to say, or they get mad at me because it was a sort of anonymous donation, but we're talking three-figure donation to get drivers home. And in this day and age where it's hard to get donations or support, for them to come forward and do something like that when there's companies that won't get their own drivers home, but Flying J stepped out and said, no, we don't want the advertising, we don't want this, just you guys are a great organization that's been around a long time, doing a great job getting drivers back to their families when nobody else will. Here's a little help. So, great cause, Truckers Final Mile. So, we're with another great group of people, folks, and we're with the Resistance. The Resistance. The Resistance. And we're here with the beautiful Resistance. They are fueling up here at the Pilot Flying J, spending money here, helping to donate so you can send more money to Truckers Final Mile. They've got all kinds of great gear here, like hats and shirts and hoodies and everything. Can they get that online too from you guys, or?
Yeah, on the Facebook page.
On the Facebook?
Yeah, if you go to the Resistance.
The Resistance on Facebook.
The Resistance.
And I've got to make sure, you know what, I'm going to check to see if I have liked this page. Of course, this is the wrong phone to do it with, and then I'll flash it. But I'll get you to type that in. Here we check her Facebook still. Did we get her to type it? Because I can't. I'll tell you, grade 4 was the 5 best years of my life. Nothing better to be able to drive to junior high in your own car.
That's right, yeah.
And you've had your license a while.
Yeah, you only went to grade 4 with a driver's license.
That's right.
It's quite hard to find.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was telling the people earlier that I put something on the Netherlands up, and 5 minutes later it was down. Gone.
Oh, probably.
Yeah, completely gone.
That's hard.
Ooh, what a beautiful car. Canada strong when enough is enough. Oh, and so I'll let you introduce yourselves. Paul, you go by assumed name. And
Yeah.
You go by, hey there, Lou.
Hey,
How
Lou
do you
and
do?
Paul and Don and all kinds. I'm Lou from the Resistance.
My name is Sarah, and I'm with the Resistance. I'm the founder of the Resistance. We flashed this up in 2020. What I did is, with all this COVID nonsense, I got really scared because I was told that a friend had been in the hospital and lungs on fire, and so it scared me. And I thought I was infected. I had infected my
there are. There's a lot of people that don't realize how big the movement is. They don't understand that we the people, there's so many of we the people. And as I keep pointing out and I keep getting home, and it's on the page there, Angus Reid, check it out, they did a survey. Angus Reid is the most reputable survey company there is, and I'm only saying that because they actually did it right, and they always do it right. 8% of Canadians support Trudeau. 8%. So let's say what the survey really says, 92% of Canadians say no. 92% of Canadians say no to mandates, no to lies, and yes to the resistance.
Yes.
I like that word, the resistance.
We're all the resistance.
Yes, we are, and it's about time to say no, and it's about time to actually start saying no, and to resist and know your rights, because a lot of people don't know their rights. We're talking about the Canadian border crossing, and until I've been in the last 2 years educating people about the Canadian border crossing. If you're Canadian, you're in Canada. Nobody can stop you from entering your own country. And it's in your passport, on the second page of your passport, that you have the right to enter Canada without delay. Now, there can be some regulations, there can be some searching, there can be some different things, but as long as you say yes sir, no sir, 3 bags full, and you do everything you're supposed to do, they can't stop you from coming into Canada. And your medical information is your own private information, and none of their, pardon the language, goddamn business. So if you're crossing the border and they ask you any type of medical information, that's my medical information under the Privacy Act of Canada. If they're giving you a hard time entering Canada, you just open your passport to page 2 and say, can you read what it says there? I'm a Canadian citizen. This is my country. I'm on Canadian soil. Unless I've committed a crime, I'm on my way. Thank you very much for protecting our borders from outsiders. So I like making that clear because a lot of people don't realize that you should not comply to illegal mandates.
Absolutely. A lot of people, because they're still scaring people.
Yes.
Saying, oh no, you need Panerai, and let me test it, and what's your medical status? No, we have friends that have done that, they documented it.
Yep.
So it's absolutely doable. You just need to know your rights.
Yes, you're a Canadian citizen. This is Canada. You belong in Canada. This is our country. Trudeau, you know that Justin Castro, have you heard about this guy in Ottawa? He's there temporarily. He's just a drop in Canadian history and a brown drop in Canadian history right into the toilet. He'll go down as the worst prime minister in Canada. And a lot of people say, oh, Trudeau says this, Trudeau says this. Trudeau's barely got elected and really shouldn't have any power except that the NDP is unfortunately supporting him and turned into liberals and forgot they're supposed to be the party of the people. But he is just a flash in the history of Canada. Canada's 155 years old. Trudeau's been around, what, 4 or 5 years or whatever? And even he doesn't know how long he's been around.
Yeah.
But I don't think he's going to be around another 3 years, in my opinion. Their party's already thinking of getting rid of him because they realize Canadians, especially with the latest poll, that Canadians and the world are waking up and seeing that this is tyranny. They know the WEF, they see these Klaus Schwab's little boy and stuff like that, and that they can, try to make their own global leadership world order without an election. The elites just turn around, we got money, we're going to be the new government for the world.
Sure.
No, you aren't. No, you aren't. Yeah, we've gone past that 1,000 years ago to the lords and the land and slavery and stuff like that. We're free people, especially here in North America, because there are places having a harder time. Australia, they got that dweeb as the prime minister, and they're really having a hard time. And what's going on in the Netherlands right now and that, we feel for all our brotherhood around the world. And when I say brotherhood, that encompasses everybody. You know, I use the old terms because I have no filter. I'm 65 years young this year, and I was born in the 50s, raised in the 60s, and harass is 2 words to me. That was terrible. Now I just lost 1,000 people. That was a very sexual sort of thing. Yeah, but it's true, folks. If you're raised in the, born in the 50s, raised in the 60s, 70s, hey, all this fluffiness and snowflakeness and stuff like that, all it does is, again, WEF, to divide people. To divide people. It's all a divide. It's always a divide. This Roe and Wade thing, a divide.
Yep.
It's all a divide. And it's trying to get people to fight against each other and everything else. So we've got great resistance fighters here. So you guys came from Kelowna and you guys went to?
We went to Winnipeg.
Winnipeg.
Yeah, we went to the Battle for Canada. It's our second year for Battle for Canada.
Okay.
Yeah, so we went to the Harvest Church. The Harvest Church is the only church in Kelowna that I'm aware of that says we're not closing our doors.
Right.
So I remember hearing that and I thought, somebody's not closing their doors? So,
Yeah.
so we went.
Nice.
And yeah, we traveled with them, and it's probably Christian because there's a lot of positivity there.
Yes,
Right?
a
So-
lot.
Oh yeah, so it's a really great uplifting experience from some really good people. And then we stayed with our friend Bonnie Trudeau at the Barbara Farm.
Oh yes.
Yeah, Plandaboy.
Plandaboy.
Yeah.
She's got a great truck.
Oh, does she
I got some
ever?
pictures of her truck from the ports there.
Yes.
She's got a great truck.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's one of those people that you can figure around.
No, she knows where the bears shit in the woods.
Yep.
She's seen some bears out there. So.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. No, that was great. That was awesome. I'll see if I can find the picture and just show the folks who we're talking about because she was down at the ports on Canada Day.
Yeah.
And of course I had to go and talk to her a bit and it's on a different phone. It's probably on the phone he's using. So I'll put that up late. Oh no, it isn't. There it is. There we go. And I'll show it there.
Oh yeah. Nice.
Yeah, that's her for sure, yeah.
Isn't that a beautiful truck, folks? That I did both sides of it too. That's why there's 2 pictures there. So.
Oh yeah.
And
She doesn't stop that one.
yeah, and when you look around, you realize that through Canada, through the world, and that there's great people like you, the Resistance, Canadian patriots. Hey, how are you doing? Good to see you.
Mr. MacKenzie, how are you?
Very good, very good. Come on in, guys.
Holy,
Come on in.
may I get a hug?
Yes.
It's been so long.
Oh, yes,
Margaret is
definitely.
going to be so happy that I'm ready for you.
Yes, she is.
How are you?
Hey, we're gonna hug you. Good to see you.
I just came over to get a picture. I didn't realize it was
Yeah,
you.
come on, join in. Stand here to the side because you're wearing a great hoodie today. An excellent hoodie.
Yeah.
Yeah, and everything. So, you know what? At a truck stop, folks, it's beautiful at the truck stop because you can't swing a cat by the tail without seeing patriots, without seeing people, the resistance and patriots and good people that believe in Canada and everything else. It's fantastic. It's so easy to see what the truth is. Even a blind man can see it because Fred was telling me he was in a Flying J and a blind man came in with a German Shepherd and he grabbed the German Shepherd by the tail and he picked it up and started swinging around his head. And the poor German Shepherd was crying and howling. And the manager ran up and said, "What the hell are you doing?" He said, "Just looking around."
Oh, we can tell you're 65.
Yeah, we got to add some humor into it all the time, folks, and things of that. And what great people we're with. So you're headed now to Kelowna?
No, we're going to stop at the Little stop in here in Alberta.
Oh,
We're on our
cool.
way there too.
Are you? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we're on road and everything.
Yeah.
Okay, but there's an event with Chris Scott.
What's that?
Oh,
Sorry, we got more.
Okay.
That's what a main car truck over there. Where's the tractor that just went by?
No.
Yeah, Margaret
Oh, yes, Margaret.
Yeah, Margaret.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're part of Prairie Home.
Very open. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we've known Margaret.
He's been bugging me to do an interview with you, but I'm sure
Me too.
right?
And the name of your Facebook page again is?
The
The
resistance. So when
Resistance.
you're looking for the little picture, will be
Yeah, I've seen the
all
post
caps
on
that image art. We can create some information and I can get that.
Sounds fantastic.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you want to say to our great people out there at Canadian Trucking Magazine?
Yeah, absolutely. I want to say a big thank you to all the truck drivers and all the supporters that came out. We absolutely need everybody. It doesn't matter if you drive a truck or not. Stand up. Unite with the people around you. There's enough division. We all need each other. When Tarzan called the animals, he called all the animals. When Noah said all the animals on the ark, he called all the animals on the ark. He didn't say no yellow ones, no tan ones, no spotted ones. Everybody's welcome. So let's slow down division and just everybody will hands around the world. That's the way we're going to beat this. By standing up and saying, hey, enough of this.
Yeah. Critical
No more true
resistance.
words than right there.
Exactly. Critical resistance, critical mass. That's what we need. Now that you know for sure that 82% of Canadians are fed up with mandates, fed up with lies, fed up with everything like that, it's time for everybody to stand up and say enough is enough. And stand together. And watch out for distractions, because it's all distractions. Every time they're trying to divide, it's a distraction. Keep your eye on the ball, no more mandates, and we're talking about the emergency measures has to be gone. Never mind suspension of this, suspension of that, it needs to be gone, and it's gone to the point where Justin Castro needs to go. They need a new government.
We've crossed that line a while back.
Yeah, and it needs
Regardless
to go.
of where you stand on what we did in Ottawa or didn't do in Ottawa or any of it, it doesn't matter. We're so far beyond this. This is even the smallest piece
Yeah,
of pie.
and Jagmeet Singh needs to go. You know,
Well,
he's
and there's
disgraced the
338 other people that need to be held to account.
Yes.
They all do. They all
It
do.
isn't just him.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
reality is it's the other 338 that put him there, and it's the other 338 that are keeping him.
Yeah.
Very simple. We do have laws in place that he could have been removed immediately.
Yes.
This bullshit that we can't do anything about it is bullshit.
Yeah.
We have all of these things in place. Most of our charter was written to prevent exactly what's happening
What's going
right now.
on? Well, you
And
always
they're
had a
distorting it.
dictatorship.
I grew up. I learned it as they wrote it.
Yeah.
So don't tell me what my rights are or aren't. I learned it as they made it.
Yes.
So this, I mean, they've crossed every line. They've smacked everybody. You know, like I spent 9 days in Ottawa getting called a fucking terrorist. I'm a Lebanese person who lives in Canada, born and raised. I'm not a terrorist.
Right.
Right? I lost both my parents there. There's couldn't see either one. Every single day I've been lucky because I came out to that goddamn book.
Yeah.
So, you know,
It's
we're-
disgusting.
And the stories we heard in Ottawa and the times we have pictures sprinkled. You didn't, I mean, I went there for my personal reasons like everybody else. But if you don't have a laundry list of reasons to back that up, never mind your own problems, then you're not paying attention. Very simple. Like, straight up. This is, you know, I expected all of this, but never for this long.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a tinfoil hat wearing hat. I'm way back. I
Yeah,
question it all. I never trusted that.
They used to call them conspiracy nuts until all the conspiracies started happening.
Well, right.
Yeah. And then suddenly when Bill Gates started spouting from his mouth what conspiracy nuts have been saying for years, and everybody's going, wait a minute, they were right? They
Find
were
me
right?
something that we were wrong about.
Yeah, exactly.
Find me one government accusation of U.S., Canada,
Yep.
hell, most countries on this planet that has not been proven definitively to be 100% true, and so much worse than what we even thought it was.
And the big thing in the world was,
And now they just admit it on Monday, and by Friday they forget.
yeah, and the big thing in the world was, and the biggest one that people couldn't swallow and a hard pill to swallow was depopulation. Everybody's saying, oh, listen to this conspiracy nut saying they want to depopulate, they want to kill off people. They would never do that.
Right.
And then Bill Gates, right out of his mouth in interviews, Trudeau, right out of his mouth, Klaus Schwab, right out of his mouth saying, no, we need to protect the world, we need to protect the environment, we've got to get rid of 30 to 60% of the population. Do people understand what they're saying? That means kill off. 30 to 60% of the population. And who are they talking about? Well, Bill Gates says this openly. He says this openly. He says we got to get rid of the seniors because they're no longer providing, and we got to get rid of anybody who's at risk because they're weighing down our healthcare systems and that. So the people at risk, the seniors. And then wasn't it funny? As they're talking about this, and in the Great Reset, they're talking about a plague or disease that could kill these people off. Suddenly COVID comes out, and the seniors start dying, and the people at risk start dying.
SARS, the H1N1, every one of them is targeted. Look at the demographics of each one of those targeted, and look how the government A, rolled it out, and B, handled the situation. The first one, nobody cared. There's a virus. Be careful. Watch out. Wash your hands. End of story. Nobody's talking. Asians are wearing masks everywhere, right? But nobody's thinking nothing about it. Next one comes, targets a different branch of the demographic. Still going after old people. Still going after young people. Still targeting any underlying health conditions, right? But it's a little bit worse. There's a little more deaths. There's a little more this. But now they've got a secondary gauge reaction to the situation. How do we handle this? Well, not enough people spoke up, not enough people jumped on that mic, not enough people were spreading the shit on Facebook. So we'll try the next one. H1N1 got a lot more press than the SARS did. The next one comes. I can't even keep track of them all at this point.
Well, I was afraid of getting monkeypox from you guys. You guys haven't been around me.
Right? Well, maybe it's ridiculous, but it's not. It's all
I hear you, Paul.
and
See how I did?
different levels of how the government.
I've been in Facebook jail so many times in my
We're rolling
comments.
down the road all the way to California on the trip of our lifetime. I don't watch the news. Next thing I know, the world is ending. We're all going to die. Right? So we can't get back into Canada fast enough. We find out it's all bullshit. And here we are, almost 3 years later.
The great
People
divide.
are still looking me in the face as I've driven all over this country. Back to never got sick. Whatever. Call it. I don't deny there's a virus.
Oh my God, no mask, no vaccine, and I hugged you?
Right?
Oh my God.
Do you know how many people
Am I
I
going to
hugged
get
in
hit by
Ottawa?
my
Okay, we're also
Perfect
the
strangers?
only
I didn't have to
country
wear
on
mask
earth
pass.
that cannot
Hug
get
pass.
medical exemption, legitimate, legal, medical exemption from taking the shot. I have a 49-year history of adverse reactions.
Hey, don't trash around.
Yeah,
Come on now.
you wreck it around.
I drive up here to
You
work.
never do that to
But,
us.
you know what I'm saying? For a lifetime, I was allergic to the dye they use to check your kidney. I have one functioning kidney. You think I'm putting some fucking juice in my and hope? No way. If I would have got sick, I probably still would be.
Is that beautiful?
But there was a point I agreed to my boss, I will do this.
Do you have any
The next
cards?
72
Yes, I
hours,
do.
anxiety attack that you never had in my life. And like, after extreme.
I like what you do with your
Two
flag.
nosebleeds that I couldn't stop.
That's
As
what I've
soon
done
as
on my
told
truck
them, nope,
too.
I'm not doing this. That's how I went.
On
So,
Canada
yeah,
Day,
I think we'll
I went from one
wrap it
part
up.
of the city to
And
the
you know
other
what we
side of the
always do
city.
is we end it by putting out our thumbs and
Trudeau
saying,
flag
"Keep
on one
trucking."
side.
Yes.
So if we can do that all together, does that sound
We all gotta leave?
Keep on trucking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he knows. And
If it wasn't for veterans,
we'll
it
get
wouldn't
you
have
into
happened.
it. We're gonna go
And I'm
one, two,
short, I
three,
can go
and then
front.
race to the camera. All right, you guys all ready?
Yeah.
Okay,
Hey,
one,
how
two,
does one get one of these?
I've already, don't worry about it. I'm on it.
1, 2, 3. Keep on trucking!